As you can hear, the fan is blowing. The motor is running rough. Now that the fan is on, it's not overflowing yet. Ugh. Let's see. You can see where the temperature's at right now. It normally goes all the way pegged out. Had to rev up the engine because it's kind of running rough with the fan on. When the fan is not on, it idles perfectly, but it's got a surge to it. Normally it dies out when the fan kicks on after a couple seconds. But sitting here, it got to that temperature. Now when I drive, I get maybe mile and a half down the road. That's when the temperature goes all the way up and it starts overflowing through where the radiator cap's at. I replaced the radiator cap the other day. There's the new cap. Whole $10.99 plus tax. There's the old radiator cap. I drove it yesterday for my walk. Got to the bridge park, parked the car, checked, made sure it wasn't leaking. Temperature was just below halfway when I got to the bridge park. Went and did my walk, came back, checked to make sure there was no leaks. There was nothing, no wet spots, nothing. The car was at about a quarter of heat in the engine, which is just above low. Went driving the same distance and the temperature started climbing close to the house, and it died out once because the fan came on, fired it right back up. Drove into the neighborhood, got to right here. That's when it started spitting the water out, and at the time you can see the water trail was just a little line, and then as I made it up here, it started really flowing out. So I don't know. I can't tell because this car doesn't have a throttle on it that you could actually operate manually like the older cars, and I don't have nobody here that can actually press the gas pedal to make the RPMs higher than idle to see if the hoses are collapsing. I'm surprised it's not leaking. That little bit of water right there is from earlier when I had filled it up. So thoughts, comments. My next step is to either change out the hoses and the radiator, which it's not leaking from any of them. So, and as you can see, the hoses aren't really collapsing in on themselves. Plus there's a lot of pressure in there too right now. That hose right there is like just under 20, and the one down there comes from over here, the reservoir, to the bottom of the radiator, and then into the water pump. That's about $50 something right there. And then $200 for the radiator. I don't know if I want to keep throwing money at this car to keep it up and going. I spent the money to change out the water pump, as y'all seen in the previous video. I got the electric fan working again, so that's not the issue, other than it wanting to die out when the fan is on at idle. I just don't know. My mom even told me if I want to get rid of this car, go for it, to get something more reliable. Oh, and I know a lot of y'all was wondering about that job interview I had today that I had to change from the other day to today. I got the job. So that's one good thing, works in my favor, but the question is getting to and from the job. It's 12 hours a day. If it wasn't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. If I can speak. Don't get me wrong, I like to keep this car because in memory of my brother, because this was his car. Now that he's gone. But I got to have something reliable. Need something reliable that I can get to and from work and go see the monster every weekend. But if y'all can think of anything that could be the issue, drop it in the comments. It'd be greatly appreciated. And I also, when I was pricing the hoses, all three places that I looked at didn't have them in stock, which I find it funny. That'd be something that you would keep on hand because people need to change their radiator hoses out. I tried Advanced, AutoZone, and O'Reilly, the three parts houses that they got here. None of them have it. I had to go in, if I had a way to get to them, pay for it, and then come back the next day and pick it up. If I had a way to get back. Because I wouldn't even get no more than this, almost halfway there with the way the car is running now. Because they got to get their parts from their main hub. I understand that you only keep the parts that you sell constantly, but it seems like every time I go to get a part, I'm always having to wait for it. I looked up online, but it's going to take a week, and time is of the essence. I don't know how much time I got left, because I know the guy told me at the interview they'll either contact me today about the drug test and physical, or tomorrow at the latest, which tomorrow will be Friday. So I got to do something. I'm surprised it's at the temperature it was and it didn't overheat. Well, it overheated but it didn't bust out like it normally does. I know I'm a shade tree mechanic and everything, but this got me dumbfounded. I checked the oil. There's no water in the oil. So I don't know. Maybe it's a hose collapsing in on itself, but I don't know. I'm going to have to check when the temperature goes down on the car. Because when I changed out the water pump, all the hoses were stiff that I took off, which was, I took that hose off that goes into the top for the thermostat, the hose that comes off the bottom of the reservoir that goes down to the hose that goes at the bottom of the radiator, which flows back into the water pump. Those all was stiff, not soft. They even took off that heater hose line right there because that goes into the top of the water pump, and no squishiness there neither. So I don't know. Only thing I can do is check the two heater hoses, rubber heater hoses back here, and see if they're spongy. They might be collapsing in on themselves. I'm gonna go look, see if well, it's not leaking any water, so it can't be the heater core. Nope, bone dry. So if it was a heater core leaking, it'd be either leaking inside the passenger compartment or coming out through the front, which it's not doing either. The water that's on the ground is from me filling it up. Yes, it rained this morning, but the sun done dried everything up. So I'm at a loss. I'm used to working on the old 5-liter Mustangs, the old 302 50HOs and stuff like that, and everything before that. I'm not used to this high-tech stuff here. But like I said, if y'all can figure out what it could be, drop it in the comments. I'd be greatly appreciated. And I'll see you on the next one.